Zilla Fatu has officially made his WWE debut, and this is ground shifting for NXT. Welcome to a Lattes edition, episode number 29. Let's talk about news from this week. So in the main event of NXT, there was a number one contenders match for the NXT Championship between Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller. And Zilla Fatu ended the match in a disqualification, and I mean, it is extremely popular. In the first 16 hours after his debut, or the first 15 hours, across all social media, the debut gained 16 million views, which is one of the most watched NXT debuts of all time. And while some people don't like the Bloodline story, I love it. So I am excited for this to continue, and I don't expect it to end anytime soon. But he was much needed in the men's division on NXT, which has just been swept dry of talent over the past 6-8 months. And his finisher, the Superman Samoan Spike, it's awesome. He looks great. I am extremely excited to see him in NXT, and I think he's going to be NXT champion extremely soon. Speaking of debuts, this time a main roster debut, Tatum Paxley has officially arrived on SmackDown, and Tatum Paxley is one of my favorite women's wrestlers and is so unbelievably talented and one of, if not the best all-around character wrestler in the entire company. Having so many issues with my mic recently, but she is an unbelievably great wrestler. Her character, she is so damn good at playing that. And for a long time, I think she was by far the best character on NXT. Like, she is just so talented. And let me tell you, if you don't watch NXT, you are in for an absolute treat with Tatum Paxley. And especially with the fact that she's paired up with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, it really makes me have hope that she could actually be used properly. Speaking of Charlexa, sources indicate that Charlotte Flair specifically requested to have Tatum Paxley join her and Alexa Bliss. And this is interesting. I'm not exactly sure why, but they do fit well together, especially Alexa Bliss and Tatum Paxley. But thank you, Charlotte Flair, because like I said, this might mean that she actually is put in the main event and that she's actually used properly. So I cannot wait to see Tatum Paxley on the main roster, and I wish her the best of luck. Kevin Owens versus CM Punk is set for August 21st in Toronto, Canada on SmackDown for the undisputed WWE Championship. And it's interesting that they're doing this first match so early. This makes me think that it's going to be a trilogy, or that at least this isn't going to be their only match, which I am absolutely okay with. And what I like the most about this potentially is obviously we're getting CM Punk versus Kevin Owens, but also I have no clue who could win because I think it's highly likely that Kevin Owens wins. However, at the same time, you have to take in the Sami Zayn factor, especially considering that it is in Toronto, Canada, which, well, Sammy's from Montreal, but he's from Canada too, so you have to take that into consideration. And Sammy said, don't expect me to stop chasing what I want just because you're also chasing what I want. So, I am super duper excited for this match, though. Dominic Mysterio is reportedly frustrated with his difference in booking between WWE and AAA. And I mean, I cannot blame him in the slightest. He is booked like an absolute buffoon on the main roster, and is booked like Roman Reigns in AAA. And especially taking into account the fact that we are less than a month away, or well, exactly a month away from today, I believe. No, less than a month. Less than a month away from one of the biggest matches in AAA history between Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano for the AAA Mega Championship. And Dom is taking losses to Danhausen, and then took a loss to Penta, and now is taking a loss to Dragon Lee. 2 weeks, 3 losses for Dominic Mysterio. That is unbelievable. That is diabolical. And Dominic Mysterio is great with comedy characters like Danhausen, and it's fine to have him feud with them, but not a month before one of the biggest matches of his career. It is a genuine burial that we are witnessing with Dominic Mysterio. And honestly, I think maybe he should just spend some time, like a couple months or something, just in AAA, so that hopefully he can come back to the main roster and have a fresh start. The Minnesota Vikings, the greatest NFL team in the world, have named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback. And I am still a firm JJ McCarthy believer, but I'm going to support whoever is at quarterback for my team. Whether it's JJ McCarthy, Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz, Max Brosmer, Jaron Hall, Nick Mullins, Sean Mannion, for all I care. So I do think that this was the right decision, but I do think at some point during this season, JJ McCarthy will get an opportunity to play at least one game because Kyler Murray is injury prone, but also by week 13, the Vikings will have the 1 seed locked up. But the worst possible thing that could happen here is that Kyler Murray is just mid. This is a problem that has plagued the Vikings basically throughout their entire franchise, where they just have mid quarterback play. They don't have great, where you're like, oh yeah, that's our franchise guy. He's going to be here for the next 10, 15, 20 years. But it's also never, goddamn, that guy was shit. We're moving on to a new quarterback next season. Almost always, they are just mid, and we don't know if we should get rid of them and go for someone better, which, like, yeah, but it would be kind of hard to find someone much better that would make a reasonable difference for us to go and put in that much effort. And is it worth the risk when we could just have solid quarterback play? So, like, that is the worst thing that could happen to us. So I want Kyler Murray to either be unbelievably good or bad. I don't want no in between. I want a clear-cut answer on what we're going to do at quarterback next season. Are we going to draft someone? Are we going to try to trade? Are we going to sign a free agent veteran? Are we going to try JJ McCarthy again? Or are we going to be sticking with Kyler Murray? But I do think if Kyler Murray is just good this season, with Justin Jefferson, with Jordan Addison, with a great offensive line, with a great 1-2 punch at running back, with a really solid tight end. God, that sounds so sus. Pause. If he is just good, he's just solid, we could genuinely make it to the Super Bowl. And I mean, the defense could genuinely be one of the best in the league. So, Kyler Murray, just please be good. The Rock says he's exploring a career in music. This man is doing everything in his power to not come back to the WWE. Like, dude, I get it, Hollywood's failing, but, like, nobody wants to hear your music. Just come back to the WWE. You'll make so much money. You'll bring your stock right back up. Like, he refuses. He refuses to come back to the WWE, and I have no clue why. If you want to be done in the WWE, just come back, have one more match against Roman Reigns, and then leave. Chelsea Green is expected to be out of action for several weeks following a broken orbital bone. However, she is not expected to be removed from TV or stripped of the title. Thank God! If they would have stripped her of the title, that would have just been brain dead stupid. Stupid, mate, I'll fucking tell you. And usually she plays into these injuries, like she did with her leg injury, going around on a wheelchair, like she did with her mask in early 2025 or mid 2025. And usually it's great, it's funny, it's hilarious, entertaining, and I assume she will have to wear that mask There's not really much you can do that I know of, at least for a broken orbital bone. You can't really put a cast on it. You just kind of have to let it heal. Maybe wear that mask like I was talking about, like Rhea did when she had the same injury going into War Games last year. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So I'm very glad that this won't affect her championship reign too much. Rhea Ripley, when she had this injury, was out for about 3 weeks. So hopefully we can get a similar timeline for Chelsea Green here for this injury recovery time. Next, we have not really news, not really a story, but Stephanie Vaquer giving that warning shot. Bow! I don't know if she tweeted this knowing that it looked like the warning shot, but everybody in the comments, everybody retweeting it has been just saying it looks like the warning shot. And this is now one of my favorite memes in WWE. There's a strong belief internally within WWE that Roman Reigns versus LA Knight, is set for Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. And while I do think this makes it more likely that LA Knight could possibly win, I also am extremely concerned because this means he probably isn't going to be in the Money in the Bank match. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like LA Knight's going to lose this, So I really want him to win Money in the Bank. It's a perfect time for him to win Money in the Bank, man. It's really shaping up to look like Trick Williams is going to win Money in the Bank, and LA Knight, is just going to lose to Roman Reigns. Which, I don't even see the point in doing this match if you're just going to have LA Knight, lose. But, man, I really hope LA Knight, wins this or wins Money in the Bank. Solo Sikoa officially is going to be rejoining the Bloodline, which I think it's unfortunate. Some people like it, and man, I'm willing to give it a chance, but I really think he'd be so much better as a single star. He's just so charismatic and has gotten so over recently, and I feel like this could genuinely ruin him and make him a background character. However, on the flip side of that, it could also be similar to when Sami Zayn joined the Bloodline, and people were just waiting for him to turn on the Bloodline. Maybe Solo could be, a secret, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a secret agent kind of within the Bloodline and end up helping LA Knight, win the World Championship. So that's the reason that I'm willing to give this at least a shot, but I am initially against it, and I do think right now, based off of, we obviously haven't seen it yet, but I feel like it's going to be the wrong decision. Before we get into the SmackDown preview, SmackDown is going back to 3 hours in January 2027. The current target date for the change is January 8th, 2027. Probably not doing it on January 1st because that's going to be a pre-recorded episode because it's on New Year's, I assume. That's just my guess, though. But I like the 3-hour SmackDown better. Even if it does feel just like the 2-hour show stretched out with more recaps, with more video packages, it at least gives WWE a chance to feature guys and girls like Ricky Saints, like Carmelo Hayes, like Ilya Dragunov, like Jordan Grace, Julia, Kiana James, Blake Monroe, Jordan Grace. I don't know if I said it already, but it gives guys and girls like that a chance and a time to shine. But I think they should honestly just pick either 3 hours or 2 hours and stick with it. Cody Rhodes, Cody easy to find, hard Rhodes, is set to main event tonight's episode of SmackDown. And Chelsea Green, the women's champion, is set to open tonight's episode of SmackDown. We also have a CM Punk and Kevin Owens face-to-face. We have the Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes segment. Paige is advertised to appear. Baron Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title. JC Jane versus Tiffany Stratton for the U.S. title. and R-Wepa versus the War Raiders versus MFT for the tag team championships. And I do think, honestly, MFT should win the tag titles here. I don't think it's required necessarily, but it needs to be very soon. And what I would also love is if maybe Fraxium or some other tag team came in and caused a DQ, caused chaos. Well, that would be bad in the sense that we don't get a winner, and it would be back-to-back tag team championship matches with disqualifications. It would kind of show us that they're reviving the tag team division, and it's going to go back to chaos. So, maybe not the best idea. Maybe have them come out after the match or something. Fraxium, that is. I think JC Jane's got to win this. It would help her a lot. It doesn't. I see Tiffany Stratton feuding with Chelsea Green soon. Carmelo Hayes should absolutely be defeating Baron Corbin here. It's in his home. This episode is in Carmelo Hayes' hometown of Boston Massachusetts. And nobody really wants to see Baron Corbin as champion, so really hope he wins that, or wins this. That's going to be it, though, for this episode of A Latte's Vision. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and